All right, welcome. Today we're going to dive into something really fascinating, a deep look at one of the trickiest parts of any business that's all about people. We're talking about that person on your team who's an absolute rock star, but also just incredibly difficult to work with. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get our heads around the big idea, the main philosophy here. Then we'll zero in on the main problem, this thing called egocentrism. We'll look at what's really going on underneath the surface, and then, and this is the best part, we'll get into the practical, hands-on stuff you can actually use to turn this whole situation around.
Okay, first things first. Before we can even talk about fixing the problem, we've got to graft the philosophy behind this whole business. It's kind of different, and it changes how you look at everything.
And here's the core of it. The person giving this seminar came to a really cool conclusion. The Atomy business isn't just selling stuff. Nope, it's a comprehensive art. I love that framing. It means it's about building up the whole person, not just their bank account. And this slide really shows you what that looks like, right? It's not just about money. It's about helping people get healthier, communicate better, become more resilient when things get tough. It even gets into things like cultural insight and having a real sense of purpose. The idea is, if you build a better, more well-rounded person, the success just follows. But of course, there's a catch. Whenever you're dealing with people, things get complicated. And in a system that's all about people, you're bound to run into the biggest challenge of all, dealing with difficult personalities. And the seminar puts a name to this challenge, egocentrism. Now, this isn't just your garden variety selfishness, it's something deeper. It's this unshakable belief that your way of thinking, your experiences, your logic, is the only correct one. It's a my way is the only way kind of mindset. And here's where it gets really, really interesting. These folks, they're a total double-edged sword. Because when you first meet them, you don't think, oh no, a problem. You think, wow, I've just found a superstar. I mean, look at this. At first, the appeal is huge. They have this incredible energy. They get things done. They recruit like crazy. They look like the perfect partner. But give it time. That same my way is the only way attitude starts to cause problems. They won't listen to advice. They create drama. They start to bring the team down. And pretty soon, that star performer becomes your biggest roadblock. So what do? Well, the key, according to the seminar, is to stop looking at the behavior and start asking why. Why are they like this? Because, and this is so important, it's almost never what you think it is. It turns out all that strength, that confidence, that I know best attitude, it's really just armor. They look so strong on the outside, but it's because they're protecting something really fragile on the inside. So what's really driving them? It's not arrogance. It's deep-seated anxiety. It's an inferiority complex. It's this powerful, almost primal need for someone, anyone, to tell them they're good enough, to validate them. And a lot of this stuff, as you might guess, goes way back to childhood. Maybe they had parents who were super controlling, or maybe they were ignored, or maybe they got what's called conditional love. You know, I'll only love you if you're number one. When that happens, you learn from a young age that you have to fight and scrap for every ounce of recognition you can get. Okay, so now we get it. We know what's going on underneath. So, what do we do about it? Well, this is the big paradigm shift. The change doesn't start with them. It starts with you, the leader. You have to completely flip your mindset. The old way of thinking is, I have to succeed. I need to hit my numbers. The new mindset is, my job is to help my people succeed. My job is to grow them. Success stops being about your rank and starts being about your team's growth. And this is everything. This is the whole ballgame right here. Your job isn't to hit a target. Your job is to grow people. If you can really, truly internalize that, everything else starts to fall into place. It's how you turn those tricky relationships around and build something that actually lasts. Okay, so you've got the new mindset. Now what? Now you get the new tools. With this perspective, you stop trying to confront these people and you start trying to guide them. And there are specific ways to do that. Rule number one, and this is a big one, you have to let go of winning the argument. The second you try to prove them wrong, you've lost. You've just triggered all their insecurities, put up all their walls, and they'll just dig in deeper. You might win the little battle, but you've absolutely lost the war for the relationship. And here's a super practical tool for this, the I message. Look at the difference here. A you message is an attack. You're wrong to meet at 6 a.m. See, it's accusatory. But an I message is about your own feelings. When we plan meetings that early, I feel concerned that you're not saying they're wrong, you're just sharing your perspective. It totally changes the dynamic from a fight to a conversation. So it all fits into this larger strategy. First, you just listen. But you listen to understand, not just to wait for your turn to talk. Then, instead of telling them the answer, you ask questions. Like, that's a really interesting idea. How do you think that would work for our brand new members? You're guiding them to think about the team, to see the bigger picture. You're helping them get to the right conclusion themselves, which is way more powerful. And this is where it all comes full circle. This whole approach ties right back into the very core of what this business is about. It's not just some nice, fluffy, let's all be friends idea. It's actually a core strategy. Let's look at the company's #1 motto, Cherish the Spirit. Now, according to the seminar, most people get this wrong. See, it's not about you being cherished. It's not about sitting back and waiting for someone to take care of you. It's an action. It's about you as the leader being the one who does the cherishing. It's your job to give, to nurture, to build up the people around you. So this whole people-first empathetic approach, it's not optional. It's literally built into the structure of the business. In a system like this, it's impossible to succeed by yourself. The only path to real lasting success is to bring other people up with you. And that leaves us with this one big question to ask ourselves. A question that really cuts to the heart of it all. Are you building a business or are you building people? Because how you answer that, well, that's going to determine everything. Not just your success, but the kind of impact you have and the legacy you leave behind.